Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Podcast Assemble, show where you come for your rambling, geeky download. My name's Tommy, and I am delighted, as always, to be joined by my friend and co-host who is across the pond. It's our resident planet eater of the pod, if the planet was a burrito. DL, how are you?
Sure.
Or chicken strips in this exact moment.
Yeah, I have an insatiable need to devour burritos.
For chicken strips.
It drives me. I'm looking for the ultimate burrito.
It's been a while since we've come back to the burrito king angle.
And be forever satisfied. To be fair, I'm going to Santa Barbara next week, and I will be getting the ultimate burrito in the form of the quesarito.
Oh, wow. So is that, what's the place? Where do you get it from?
Well, I've not been back to my hometown, well, not hometown, my home college town, whatever you want to call it, since probably a year after graduating. And they have this.
It's a good 25 years ago for you.
I don't think it was that long. The fact that I had to think is probably a good indicator. But yeah, it was. It's like a quesadilla that they make into a burrito. It's ungodly.
Man, that sounds
ungodly.
Insane.
It's actually, I can't imagine how much it costs now because it used to cost some absurd amount of money back in college.
Oh, man. That'd be worth every cent, though, surely. Like, that's just like pure cheese heaven.
Yeah, you can basically just like essentially buy one burrito and like split it with three people.
Like, it's so it's big as well.
It's a big boy, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I
would
would do that. I would try and consume my insatiable need to eat burritos, but
yeah, of course. If anyone hasn't guessed by now with those burrito talk, which is probably a bit distracting, we are talking about the Fantastic Four first steps today. The one that's Fantastic Four! I'm going to be doing that a lot, by the way, this episode. That's happening all the time. Which we're going to talk about. I'm excited to talk about that with you. We haven't. We watched it a little while ago. I watched like 2 weeks ago, so we've done a record between that, and now we're coming back to it almost.
I watched it on Monday.
Oh yeah, that's not that long ago. I watched like literally when the date came out.
No, I watched it on. What am I saying? I watched it on Friday of last week. That's definitely why. I mean,
that's only 3 days difference. But regardless, we know what we're talking about. We have talked about movies before, and we will talk about movies again. DL, what have you been up to, buddy? What's been happening?
It was a pretty crazy week, so I haven't been doing that much.
Oh, it was your end of quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had a bit of a crazy little 5-day span, but I did do a bit of watching. You know, I caught up, a bit of playing. I've been playing Alan Wake. It is a really fun game.
Alan Wake, yeah.
I'm getting farther and farther in, and it's just like super heady, super weird. They have like real-time movie sections where it's like literally filmed.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
and it's like a game. It's pretty weird.
And it's got the dude who was Max Payne in there for some reason. I don't know why he's in there, but he's.
I think he's like the creator of both of those games.
Is he? My God, that's a weird angle.
Yeah, he has some. There's something about him. He's to do with the games.
Like, he looks exactly the same to me.
He looks a bit goofier now than he did as Max Payne, I think. But,
I mean, Max Payne was not a goofy game. I don't know if you ever played those. Me and my brother used to play those back in the day.
Yeah.
It was so dark. Fuck me. Like the original 2. My God.
You would just eat painkillers.
Yeah, the bit where you were following the baby trail and it was just like a trail of blood. My God, that shit was weird.
It was a sick game, wasn't it? It was like you're bullet dodging and shit.
Sick in many different ways.
I remember it was a really fun game.
Did you ever watch the movie with Mark Wahlberg? Donnie!
No.
It's so bad. That was in a period where I just watched any movie that came out. And that was real bad. Real fucking bad. I might sound a little bit hoarse today, actually, because we went to see Block Party last night. Do you know Block Party? You ever heard of him?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, exactly. I haven't been to a gig in maybe a couple of months. My buddy was like, hey, do you want to come to this? And I was like, I know like 3 Block Party songs at an absolute maximum. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Like, why not? Like, we haven't been for a while. They were so average live. My God, they were so average.
They kind of feel like a band that wouldn't be great live, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I've never seen a less enthusiastic crowd.
I love that first album, though. Silent Alarm is a fucking phenomenal album.
That's kind of why I signed up, because it's like the 25th or 20th anniversary tour of that first album, and I just assumed they'd be playing that. So I was ripping that album all day. I was like, pumping those tunes. And we got there and it was...
There's a lot of good... I think they had a couple good songs after that, but nothing like...
They've got some good songs.
Yeah.
They played I Still Remember... No, they never play I Still Remember. It's the other one they played. I can't remember what it's called. Fuck, man, that's really bad. Hang on.
Helicopter?
No, they definitely played Helicopter. Let's look up block party songs. Let's make this real interactive for the listeners who really do not care about this conversation. They definitely played Banquet. Oh, they played This Modern Love. That's the one. This Modern Love. I like that song.
Yeah.
It's a good one. So, like, I can't recommend going to see Block Party, but it's, like, that's why I'm a little bit hoarse today. It was more a nostalgia drive, you know, like, you're going back to a university town. I was literally living my university years watching Block Party play This Modern Love. It was all a good day.
There you go. What else, dude?
Well, I'll tell you what else before you start that. Guys, if you want to jump around, if you want to listen to us talk about our weeks, feel free to stick around. There will be time codes in the description. As always, supplied by Mr. Matthew Bliss of mbpod.com. Let's get this out of the way today so we can talk about nerdy shit. Please, while you're down there, hit us up with a 5-star review. It really helps. And if you could pass the pod on someone who likes this nerdy nonsense, that would be fabulous. Nerdy nonsense, let's use that from now on. I'm going to keep that. I know we had a couple of new friends of the show listening this week. Friend of the show, Nick, we appreciate you. Thanks for jumping in. And everyone else, if you have someone else you know who likes talk about movies and just likes hearing about Dre looking like Jeffrey Dahmer, absolutely everybody should like that after that show. Feel free to pass they're gone. The glasses are gone. Feel free to pass the pod on to them too. It would really help us in our quest to take over in the podcast universe. DL, what have you been up to, buddy?
Just like I said, playing Alan Wake, doing a bit of reading with this. I haven't been able to do much more than my update last week, but Alan Wake's really fun. I just got the flare gun, basically like this fucking grenade launcher of light that you kill them with the light, kind of. Very fun. Yeah. Very good addition. Glad I got this gun.
Because isn't light like the whole, like, the core thing of this?
Yeah, you know what I was going to say? The first bit of the game, like, I'm pretty good at these, like, shooters, I've realized.
Yeah.
I have to start them on hard, otherwise they
I'm the opposite.
Yeah. And so I started on hard, and I was I'm kind of like owning these guys. Like, why aren't they making it more difficult for me?
Yeah.
And it's now starting, like, I just realized it's a slow start of a game. Like, it's now starting to get to the point where you have to, like, kind of be better. Like, you can't make mistakes.
Actually, I have to try.
And yeah, the combat's fun because it's, like, interesting. You basically have to, like, through a variety of means, they have, like, a shield on them that can only be broken by, like, light, whether it's your flashlight or whether it's
fleshlight.
Like,
well, you walk around with a fleshlight. Jesus Christ.
Hard in the paint with the flashlight. And they're just like, okay, stop. You can kill me now.
Please stop.
In fact, please do. Literally, I beg you. No, there's like multiple ways to basically break the shield. Then you can shoot them like a normal enemy.
Yeah, right. Nice.
And one of the cool ones is there's like a flare, and you can just throw it into a group of them, and they all get affected at once.
That's fun.
So it's fun.
It's a different type of enemy as well. So normal games, which I like.
Yeah, and it changes the dynamic because there'll be points in time where, and you have to reload each of them, right? Like, so if your flashlight battery's out and one guy's shield is down, you can kind of try and kill him, but you're risking the other guy that's coming at you who still has his shield up. If you don't reload your flashlight, you're kind of going to get fucked there. So it creates this like interesting, fast-paced dynamic when you have multiple.
You keep saying flashlight, and I think you're saying flashlight, and then you say got fucked there, and I'm like, this is great.
when you have like 3 or 4 flashlights going at the same time, it gets really interesting.
Oh, that's excellent. There's strategy in there as well.
Yeah, for sure, dude. One flashlight here, one flashlight there, flashlight everywhere.
That's a lot of loot. It's a lot of loot, my man.
Yeah. So how about you, man? What have you been doing?
We've been doing things and stuffs. I'll tell you what's out.
Wait. This is a really refreshing sound.
Bring that every day. What is it? Coke Zero?
No, it's a little grapefruit sparkling water.
Oh, look at you with all fancy pants. We should bring that. That should be our new thing on the podcast. Who's bringing the weirdest drink? I actually had I had a Fanta Cherry 0 calorie the other day, and I'm like, this is wild. What kind of age do we live?
Fanta Cherry sounds gross.
It was so gross. I do love Coca-Cola Cherry though. It's like my absolute favorite drink. It's up there with Dr. Pepper. So bad for you. So bad for your teeth. Such is life as a nearly 40-year-old. So I've been watching a thing actually. Do you remember we've talked about this many times, but they release new seasons maybe every 2 years. Have you ever got around to watching Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix?
No, I've got it saved, but it's just
Dude,
not.
it's so good. You would absolutely love it. It's short. It's quick as well. The episodes are like between like 5 and 12 minutes, like tops.
Yeah.
And they're all these like Black Mirror-esque weird purviews on society done in like some sort of highbrow aesthetic. So like this time there was one that was these slaves who were in basically, right, so each one is done in a different style. Every episode is different. So I think there's like 10 episodes this season. One is done, for example, like almost like a top-down RTS where you like point and click your guys to go where they're going to go. And then one was like a really high resolution, almost like the best graphics you've ever seen, like video game. And it's just so good. Like everything is so different and they do all these weird, quirky styles. And each one shines a weird little purview light on society, just like a Black Mirror episode, really, but kind of shorter.
Yeah.
And I just find it so good. And one of the episodes this time was just the bloody Red Hot Chili Peppers singing one of their songs in a concert, but they were like these weird bobblehead versions of them. And it was just, but that's the point. Like, why? There's absolutely no rhyme or reason to these episodes, but they are just so good and so well done. Whoever created this needs to be given like some sort of fucking lifetime achievement award because it's excellent, man. Who created Love, Death, and Robots? I should come equipped with this information, but I do not, dear listener. It's been going since 2019, so seriously, you need to get on it by now. And there's it's Tim Miller. There you go. That's interesting.
Nice.
So from memory, yeah, Tim Miller did the first Deadpool. Oh, he also did Borderlands. Oh, no. Oh, he also did Secret Level. That's interesting. Secret Level is a very similar version, a bit like this on Amazon, and it is all video games, which is interesting. I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but a friend of the show, legend Mr. Matthew Bliss, recommended it to us a little while ago. Anyway, Love, Death, and Robots. Back to the point. You absolutely should check that out. Like, I think it was right, and it's quick, it's short as well. So if you're ever like, I don't know, say you've got like 40 minutes or whatever, and Gale's out, you can just bust through like 4 or 5 episodes, and everyone is different and weird, and you sit there going, "Holy shit, that made me think." You know, it's good.
Yeah,
you should check it out.
I'll save it. I mean, it is saved, but I just don't have that much time for shows, so it's always like they're like the things that it's getting the most cut out of my schedule with like trying to write now. It's like I lose TV mostly.
Yeah, right. I watch a lot of YouTube. Do you watch a lot of YouTube at all?
Yeah, Jim, but not like watching it. I just listen.
These are good. Like, if you want to take like something different, this cuts out those like 5 to 12-minute videos you'll watch on YouTube. This just like it'll get you. It'll get you. And there's only like 3 or 4 seasons, so you'll been burned through it. You got anything else on your list, buddy? What have you been up to?
No, I saw this preview for the new Mafia game that looks fucking cool.
Ooh.
Mafia Old Country. Have you seen this game?
I haven't seen it. I've heard about it. I haven't seen it. Again, another YouTube video that I listened to and didn't watch.
Well, it basically just looks like a GTA, but Mafia. I'm freaking.
Well, that's what Mafia kind of went towards. Yeah, this one's a little bit, from my understanding, it's a little bit less open world. But I think that's good for that series by the sounds of it. So I was listening to a guy talk about it, and he was saying the open world ones just get a little bit unruly in the Mafia world. Whereas if you, as in like, they're not great. Like they get a bit out of hand. So I think that.
What do you mean out of hand? Just like a little bit.
Is it a bit sparse? A little bit. You just kind of lose track of what's going on. It's fair. Like any open world, I just lose track of what's going on immediately. I told you I started Elder Scrolls, and I completely forgot what I was doing, and now I can't turn it back on because I have no idea what to do.
Just because you're in the middle of some random spot, and you're like,
yeah. I'm like, I don't even know how to get out of here. What's happening?
I think you could do like kind of a Last of Us style game with that world.
Oh yeah,
probably
that'd be fun.
I would be very intrigued. I think it. I mean, it looks really good.
I think you'd like that game. That's very you.
We'll see. I always wait for reviews these days. I don't have time for bad games. So.
Ooh, yeah. I've tried a few games. I've probably bought about 7 games recently on PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
And 6 of them have been bad, or like games I've just not played. I played like the first level, which is not a good use of money, to be perfectly honest with you. I think I need to be better at looking at reviews too. Maybe I'll send them to you.
I also don't buy games new anymore. I wait like 2 years.
I have mostly waited a long time. Yeah. Well, we talked about the Indiana Jones game I really want to play, but that's still like £70. Yeah, it's like £70 though. I'm like, I am not paying £70 for a game. Fuck that.
Fair enough.
I'll tell you one thing we did, actually. I don't know. Have you ever seen Moneyball?
With Brad Pitt, of course.
Yeah, it must be a movie you've seen.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would have seen it. We watched it for the first time the other day, and God, it's a good film.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah, it's been lingering on the list for ages.
What's his name? Is like they like
Jonah
made it
Hill?
to be like his first big movie. He's like he doesn't really do much in that movie.
No,
He's kind of uneventful. Like he's just like a nerd. They're like, this is what an acting performance. I was like, he's just not making fat jokes and dick jokes. He's just a normal. There's no real acting performance. Yeah, but it is a good
Brad
story.
Pitt's good in it.
Yeah, he is.
I like what they did with that character. I like it's like kind of like a low key story. You know what I mean? Like it was obviously like a feel good ending, but like I liked how they sort of built towards it. Everyone was like, "This'll never work. You're an idiot," and then all of a sudden it's like winning fucking World Series.
It's It's an underdog story.
Yeah,
everyone loves that's
low
like
key underdog story.
Yeah,
I like that he's a bit of a screw up as well. Makes sense. Good character. I'm not the biggest Brad Pitt fan, if I'm perfectly honest with you, but like
keep saying that, but then you watch Brad Pitt movies and you like them, so I just don't believe you.
Name 5 other Brad Pitt movies I've watched and liked.
Wolf, that, Fight Club, Ocean's 11, 7.
7?
That's 5, isn't it? 7.
Oh, 7. What a film. It's a 7 and yeah, okay, all right. All right, fine. Be like that. Be right all the time, TL.
Troy.
I didn't like Troy. Crap.
People don't like it, but I like it. Even though
Garbage
it's shit,
film.
I like it.
Of course you liked it. I'm holding out for the Odyssey.
Yeah. Hector! It's good. It's a good movie.
I just imagine Gail into the room being like, what is going on in there? Hector! Yeah, I didn't like the film, but I'm holding out for the Odyssey. I think Chris Nolan's version of that is going to be phenomenal. I've just got a feeling. Got a tingling.
I mean, yeah, like, don't get me wrong. If I could have Christopher Nolan direct Troy.
Yeah, direct every movie.
Versus David Benioff and D.B. Wise, who did Troy. Yeah, that was their first, I think, big.
Oh my God. There you go. Jesus. All right. Oh, actually, one thing before we finish up, I ordered from, we always bang on about Pierce Brown and the Red Rising books. I actually ordered the latest 3 Pierce Brown books. That's Dark Age. Oh my God. My brain stopped working now. The 3 that include Dark Age, Iron Gold, and whatever the last one is. Morningstar? No, that's wrong. Lightbringer from Lit Escalates, which is his private personal brand thing, which is very cool. And they do these like alt covers, and oh my God, they're sexy as hell. I literally have moved an entire shelf of books out the way so these can face forward. They are just a shelf now, and they're amazing. I'm very happy they arrived. So that's what I've been doing this week. I still haven't read the last one, Lightbringer, yet.
Now you got to read it.
They're never going to get read. They are just to sit there on the shelf and look pretty. I'm that guy now, apparently.
Yeah, you got plenty of those.
Guys, if there's anything we haven't talked about that you recommend, any films, any TV shows, any games, hit us up at Podcast Assemble, Instagram, or thepodcastassemble@gmail.com. You can find us everywhere. We also have a website, www.podcastassemble.com. You can find us. You can find all our details. Let us know what you recommend. Now, Dia, do you want to preface our main topic this week?
It's the main topic theme.
Fantastic Four!
I can't even.
God, I'm going to do that all the time this episode.
Why is it called The First Step? Because there's a baby in it?
I guess that's the thing. Yeah. Why not?
Because it's actually not really their first steps.
No, not even a little bit.
It's like the first 4 years. We're coming in hot.
They're kind of getting into that, but we are going to do non-spoilers and then spoilers this week, dear ladies and gentlemen. So that if you want to skip around, as I said before, check out those time codes in the description. You can skip 2 spoilers. Why you'd want to skip directly to spoilers, I have no idea. But if you want to skip the spoilers, you'll know when to stop listening. Before we start, though, DL, do you have a stupid plot summary for this?
Oh, fuck. This one. Well, that's...
Oh, fuck. It fills me with real confidence that you've got a good one.
Yeah, no, I don't have one. I forgot to do one. You go first. I'll come up with one.
Mine is very simply, how much weed would a being the size of Galactus need to smoke to have the munchies that hard?
A bit.
A lot. A shit ton of weed. And one funny thing about this, and I didn't say it then, but I will for the rest of the podcast, is I went to see this with my partner, who, forgets everything the minute she hears it. And she was like, I really like that Galacticus character. And I was like, Now it's in my head. Now it's Galacticus forever. I can't not say that. So he is Galacticus to me. Did I tell you what she said when we went to Harry Potter World in Japan? Did I tell you
No.
this? Random
No.
side note. There's like a hippogriff ride there, and she has historically always forgets what the Dementors are called, and somehow she forgot who the characters were. So I made a little saying out of all the stupid shit she said, which was Harry, Hermione, and Gary ran away from the ghouls on a hippodorf. So that sentence should be Harry, Ron, and Hermione ran away from the Dementors on a hippogriff.
Who's Gary?
Exactly. Who's Gary? Who the fuck is this guy? Oh, it made me laugh so hard.
Clearly, she hasn't read the books.
No, she's not. She got to book 3 and was like, I get it. I was like, how could you say this? That's where it starts. Get good. Anyway, go on. Do you have a super plot summary, or are you going to stick with the Galactus weed?
Yeah, I just came up with one. I didn't. Pardon me. I didn't. I had one and now I forgot it.
Good chat. Gary confused you.
I'd say a much more understated Pedro Pascal than we're used to. Alongside his Fantastic Four buddies take on Stan Van Gundy mega-sized. Look up Galactus.
Yeah.
Do you know who Stan Van Gundy is?
No, I do not.
It's a basketball coach. Look up Stan Van Gundy. He's a professional basketball coach. And tell me it doesn't look like Galactus. Took me out of the movie.
He's an interesting looking character. I love that for you. I love that for him.
Stan Van Gundy Galactus comparison. I bet you they have someone who's done it.
There's absolutely not. Anyway, while he's looking that up, guys, this is from director Matt Shakman, who you will know from WandaVision predominantly, but also did other things. Like he did some Game of Thrones episodes, which I like the idea of. And as DL mentioned, it has Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, who actually dropped out of Weapons to do this movie. That's a movie that I'm really excited to see, Weapons. But yeah, obviously when Marvel come knocking, you take that paycheck. It's also got Vanessa Kirby, who is Sue Storm, Eben Moss Bachrach. It's Cousin, who's playing the Thing. I love that guy. I think he's so good. He will be Cousin forever. It's got Eddie from Stranger Things, who will always be Eddie from Stranger Things as Johnny the Human Torch. We was just about to talk about him. Galacticus is played by Ralph. Ralph Inson has been on a significant amount of our episodes. I don't know if you've noticed. We've talked about him so often. He's in loads of stuff. He was in The Green Knight, other things that he's been in that I've now completely forgotten, but I really liked him in this.
Yeah, he's the best. Yeah, I like him a lot.
He's one of those random British actors who, like, he was in everything back in the day, but was always like a background character, like a speaking role background character. And somehow he's just managed to break through into Hollywood. And I dig it. I dig it for him. I'm happy he's like, he's all about it. But do you want to talk to me then, DL, about what the hell happened in this movie?
I will tell you exactly what happened in this movie. Yeah, we basically we get the a Fantastic Four that is quite established. They're loved for you. We're basically in this like kind of utopian version of New York or whatever. Are they New York?
Yeah, it's like a weird. It's like the thing I found really interesting about this was the setting is it's like a technologically more advanced Earth because they can travel to the stars, but stuck in the 60s somehow, at least aesthetically.
No, it is in the 60s. It's like a 60s space faring.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it reminds me of Fallout, kind of.
Yeah, in an interesting way. Like Earth 828 it is.
Yeah, I quite liked it, but it's basically, they've done a great job. They're loved by the city. They've already gotten their powers. They're kind of like a paragon of good in the world.
I'd say so.
And they truly lead into this family vibe pretty early on, and we kick off the story basically with them, finding out they're pregnant. What's his name, Mr. Fantastic, and
is pregnant. Yeah, it's a different universe where men can get pregnant. It's fabulous.
Yeah, what is her name though? Sue Storm.
Vanessa Kirby is Sue Storm. Yeah.
So we see that, and it kicks off a nice little storyline of this family where eventually, though,
big adventure.
We get a little Stan Van Gundy Galactus.
No, it's Galacticus. Stan Van Gundy-ticus.
No, but the core of this of the conflict becomes that the Silver Surfer, who is a female in this, played by. Do you have it already?
She's played by Julia Garner, apparently, who is Shalabal.
Yeah. Comes and announces,
which is actually from the comics.
Comes and announces that their planet has been marked, essentially.
Galacticus is coming.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting kickoff to the movie. And I mean, a lot of that's all in the trailers. Like, you're not missing anything if you've seen any single one of the trailers. They for me, they revealed too much in trailers. I was a bit like, guys, calm down. But yeah, I really liked the plot of this. I felt like it had a lot of heart to it. One thing I was doing all the way through was, and this is probably a bad thing, I kept waiting for the MCU-ness to happen. Do you know what I mean? I kept waiting for it to get a bit too quippy and follow the same arc that all the other ones did, but it kind of didn't. And I really enjoyed that. Like, don't get me wrong, like it definitely followed the formula, but in a way that felt kind of fresh.
I don't think it did. Like, well, maybe it did, but they did some of the other stuff so well that I didn't notice.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. And it had an earnestness to it, which I don't think MCU films have had for a long time.
It had a really different tone.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. And it was way more stripped down. And frankly, like, they just didn't seem so overwhelmingly that they felt beatable.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. I mean, one of them is just a stretchy man.
Yeah, it's less about their powers, although that is true. One of them is just Mr. Stretch a lot. But it was more just like, the world around them, right?
Yeah,
like they didn't have like uber tech, their rocket could,
right.
It took off like the way a rocket should.
Yeah,
they weren't even kind of like when they were taking off, they were like still doing all the checks, like it wasn't guaranteed they were going to make it, and you're just in this kind of situation where I don't know, I something about it felt more stripped down, and then that made the Galactus scene eventually way more impactful.
Definitely.
Because you're in like, with that whole scenario, it kind of feels like, holy crap, this guy's got Avengers / Guardians of the Galaxy level tech against these guys is pretty basic shit. And then they really leaned into the family vibe, and they nailed that. They needed to nail that.
Vibe. They needed
to nail that.
That's the Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah, if they did it. But I think the other ones, like, did it in different ways and like not as well. Although the originals, I think the first one wasn't terrible. If I remember correctly.
You're talking about the Johan Griffiths one with
Chris Pine.
Jessica Alba and Chris Pine, was it?
Chris Evans.
I think it's interesting because that Mr. Reed, that is technically his name, that Reed Richards character is probably one of the hardest characters to nail in the MCU. And you're right, like the comics family, the Fantastic Four is at its core and throughout just a family story, which makes it so compelling. And that's what's made the previous ones not as great, because I feel like the first one you were talking about with Johan Griffiths and Jessica Alba, etc., it was a kind of a romance story between Reed and Sue, and it wasn't really about the family dynamic. They were the core peoples. And then the later one, the Josh Trank one, they were just young and kind of not likable at all. They weren't really. It was like finding a family film. Whereas this is a family. And like I say, that Reed character, that Reed character is probably one of the hardest characters to play in the whole of the MCU, I would say, because he is this weird mix of uber family man, just like will do anything to save his family, but also kind of almost so intelligent that he is apart from human beings. It's a really interesting mix to get right. But he will do anything for his family. So, yeah, I kind of enjoy. I didn't love Pedro Pascal as that character, but I didn't hate him either. I thought he was pretty good.
I can't hate Pedro Pascal.
I mean, how can
like
you?
Him too much.
He's a beautiful man.
There's nothing. There's literally it's just something about like his acting style. I think even in this, where I thought it was a stretch to cast him as this.
Hey, I like what you did there.
I did think that he pulled it off well. And I think he chose a very understated way of doing the character that, wasn't in your face. Cause I wonder if it was like if he was cognizant of the fact that he is just literally everywhere.
Literally.
And he's like, I can't be the focal point of this movie. Otherwise, like, I wonder if that was a conscious choice or if that was something that like maybe the writers did. I'm not sure, but it was a good choice because he was less in like a big part of this. Like Sue Storm, I think would be considered
She
the
was the
leader.
beating heart of this film. Absolutely.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
the family, and I think that was partially by design.
I mean, it's a huge part of comics, but it makes absolute 100%. And I think she takes the lead in a lot of situations that maybe in other movies, like Reed Richards may have done. So, for example, when she stands up in front of the crowd and puts a speech out to everyone, it's
That was my cringiest part of the movie, though.
it was a little cringe, but like I don't like. I think any other director in the MCU thus far's hands, that would have been way more cringe than it was. Like I think any of
Probably
the
it's
other
the same
MCU
thing as the
movies.
Superman one. Honestly, these movies are super similar. It's my
Yes.
critique of the Superman one is like, you guys are a bit on the nose with your thing, with your like,
Yeah,
I'm a real
message.
human.
Yeah.
Like, and they were the same way at times in this.
They did like to say
Yeah.
out loud what the theme that was happening on the movie was, but it was so nicely done. I didn't mind it. Like all the things you said, it was stripped back. It was earnest. Like it made those moments feel impactful somehow in a way that maybe they wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah. What about this was different than say like a Thunderbolts? Why did I?
I mean, I really like Thunderbolts. I'm gonna be like,
I know you
if you
did.
go back and listen to that episode, like I was cool with it. But if you take any other movie, like from this, like if you look at anything from, I don't know, Eternals onwards, they just had a level of polish to them that didn't really agree with me. Like they were never gonna lose that team. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this one, like you said, they felt fallible. They felt like they could lose. And just by the way, before we get into this, I said this last time when we were talking about Superman, but we're not going to say everything in here. We're not going to pick up every single comic book quote. We're going to miss things. Whatever you thought was the best part of this, that's what we think too. We absolutely think that too. And if we missed the trivia bit that you wanted, hit it up in the comments. Let us know below. Because there was so much in this. There was so many like hints, so many like nods to like literal comic book panels.
I never read comics, so I cannot help you there.
I'm just getting it out of the way. Like whatever you thought was the best, dear listener, we agree. That was what we're saying. But yeah, I do think there was and it comes back to the earnestness. And I'm sorry to bang on about it, but I feel like the less earnest the movie is, the more tropey it becomes almost. And you see that without, like, when we talked about Eternals. I remember when we talked about Eternals, I actually enjoyed it, but I think that was because it was COVID and we hadn't had a movie that was half decent in 2 years.
I really wanted Eternals to be better than it was.
Me too. I like the cast.
It's like,
I like the director. So interestingly, one thing that did make this feel very real, and maybe is part of the thing you're talking about, was Matt Shakman shot a lot of the film with as many practical effects as he could. He had 2001: A Space Odyssey as his big influence for this. And you can really feel that.
I think that is part of it too. You can feel that.
Right. When Herbie's there, like I know he's not, but he feels real. He feels like a thing in the shot rather than, like a CGI piece. When Reed takes the tape out of his front and puts the space tape in so that Herbie knows that he's going to space. I really liked that. And it made it feel tangible in a way that some of the other films don't.
Even the spaceship, like it's like a real set. Yeah. You could see like them flying around in it.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm trying to think what it is, and I think it is they're underpowered compared to like the threat they face.
Yeah,
I think it is the performances by each actor.
Agreed. Eddie from Stranger Things was great.
Yeah, they're very understated in their own way, and they each have an arc.
Agreed. I really like that about this.
They each have like an arc that is like really mostly well crafted, and they have something that they contribute towards the end. Maybe Ben Grimm the least does, but like he's there as like his arc was like the same that you saw in other movies where it's like he's dealing with himself. But it wasn't as like focused on it.
He has to love himself to love other people. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't as focused on it. Like it was more like show don't tell kind of. It wasn't so on the nose,
Cousin.
It was more in the way that he like just carried himself.
Reacted. Exactly. Agreed. And I also liked, it's funny you say that. I also really liked, I'm going to call him Eddie from Stranger Things, but Joseph Quinn's interpretation of Johnny Storm. I didn't love the blonde. Like I thought that didn't really work for him. And
why was he blonde anyway?
I have no idea. I feel like making him more relatable worked in this. So if you watch any of the other movies or any other media on him, he's normally a bit of a cad. He's a bit of a Jack the Lad. If you watch the Chris Evans version of him, he is, like that's often how he's portrayed, as if he's like a ladies' man. Whereas in this, he actually felt like someone who was struggling to keep up with, the smartest man in the room, but also wanted to hold his own. And I liked that about him. He had a 3 dimension to him. And maybe that's the difference between some of those other movies we talked about and this. In this, everyone did get their arc. Everyone, they came full circle to the film. And I genuinely thought that gave it a grounding that felt real.
Yeah, the subversion of him just being like the ultimate ladies guy.
Yeah.
Classic.
Although they kind of used it a little bit. They threw it in there.
No, they still did it, but they subverted it. They made it like that, like he was ashamed of it a bit. Like as opposed to being like this, like just overly confident. Like, and Chris Pine's just like portrayal of that is Chris Evans.
No, please. He should be Chris Pine.
That time I did mess it up. Chris Evans' portrayal is like a totally legitimate portrayal, and I think it's actually one of the better parts of those movies. Actually,
I agree. I like him
minus the Travis Pastrana bits.
He's good in
motorbiking.
Yeah, he's good in Deadpool and Wolverine. I like that twist.
Yeah. So point being, like they did that for both characters. I think they did that for Pedro Pascal as well, like making him like more introverted, but still the smartest guy, but like kind of separated in a way that is not like I'm above you. It's like a way like
Absolutely.
I'm removed from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the choices he has to make, or some of the choices he thinks about making in this, really humanize that character in a way that haven't been done in other films. So there's some moments in this where Reed himself says that he thinks about all possibilities and all potential outcomes, which includes some horrific outcomes as well. If you think about absolutely everything that could and may go wrong, you're going to think about some hideous stuff. And that's reflected in this. He is, he isn't always the paragon of good. He's sort of like, he thinks about the bad things too, which makes him more 3-dimensional, makes him more interesting to me.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think it's like the way that they like tie that to the emotional stakes of his relationship and him becoming a father.
Agreed.
Is done in a way that like that both sets Pedro up to like have a great performance, but also like he nails those two essential scenes where they're in an argument, and it's like a very, very like scene from a marriage argument where you're like, this feels real. Like it was really good writing a lot of the times.
You've actually just hit on one of the things. What works in this for me was the emotional stakes of it. I felt I felt for these characters at all times, like, and maybe that's what the MCU's been missing, making you feel for the characters, which is probably the one thing a movie should really do.
Well, you got to spend time with them, and you have to like make them real, and they have to have good performances, but they also have to have like an arc and like a place they're at, and
all the things.
I think all of them kind of had that.
I'll tell you one thing that did take me out, and I don't know, like I wasn't 100% sure on it, but like the scale of everything in this. So, for example, there is a scene, I think it's in the trailers, where the Fantastic Four go to Galactus's ship, whatever it is. And when you first see Galactus, he just looks so enormous. It's like it's like the Fantastic Four were like almost not as big as his eye. He is so huge. And then when he comes to Earth, which is definitely in the trailers, he is as big as like a skyscraper. And I was like, oh, like is he that big? Like, how big is he?
Yeah, I thought that was a bit weird.
I just think it was a little inconsistent.
Galactus like worked really, really well until he got into like the daylight, and they were like moving him around with like the force thing. And, that didn't really work for me. It was so short. It actually wasn't prolonged. You know what I mean? Like,
name me a sex tape.
Yeah, it wasn't a 35-minute fight scene at the end where I'm just like bored. It was pretty quick, and they were losing, like pretty much through the entirety of it. So
we'll hold on to that until we get to exact spoilers. But I did genuinely really like Ralph Vincent as that character. He had like the gravitas. Galactus definitely looked like him. You could tell they used his like facial structure to do Galacticus, which was pretty fun.
Still think they used Steve Van Gundy. Not letting it die. If you pull up Steve Van Gundy, you'll see the face like exactly the same. Anyway,
Steve Van Gundy,
the coach of the Los Angeles.
I'm looking at him now. I mean, I don't see it, but I'm glad you do. That's hilarious.
It's gone viral. I've seen it on Instagram. Many people agree with me.
Okay, all right. Okay, I agree too. I agree with what you said, Dre. Tell me what you think. So we've talked a little bit about the team. Then, what do you think of the performances?
Yeah, I thought they were really good. I like in order. I'd probably say Johnny Storm, Sue Storm, Ben Grimm, and Reed Richards, or like Ben Grimm and Reed Richards are top. Like they're all really good.
Yeah,
I think Reed Richards has like a harder one because it's like a more famous character, and he's not at the forefront of the movie for the most part.
Yeah, that's interesting. He's not like he is obviously like I mean they're all the main character realistically, but like he isn't the main character like he has been previously. So it's an interesting balance they've had to strike. And like I say, Vanessa Kirby being that sort of heartbeat of the Fantastic Four is pretty powerful. I liked that she was that, and
I am super excited to see how this Pedro Pascal Reed Richards interacts with like a very eccentric, what I expect to be an eccentric Doctor Doom.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see that too.
Given who was casted,
yeah. I mean, like in the Marvel universe, he is like one of the most intelligent characters, elite characters. So I'm intrigued to know how that plays out. You know, obviously there isn't an Iron Man right now, and I'm assuming Secret Wars is going to reboot the whole universe, so there'll be a new Iron Man. But like, how does he interact with people who are at his level of intelligence? Like, how does that work? It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I did have a question for you actually, before we move on to a little bit of spoilers, and you kind of touched on it before. I mean, the main question really here is this obviously came out a week, 2 weeks later than Superman. We've talked about them both. Which is your favorite? Which wins? What's your winner for the summer?
I can't decide, and it doesn't make sense because
it's hard, right?
I'm gonna say that Superman was a better movie, but I like Fantastic Four more, which I don't understand how those two things can be true.
That's interesting.
I think that like the highs of the Fantastic Four hit higher highs than the highs of Superman, although they both hit pretty good. And like Superman was a bit more balanced throughout. And there's a couple big moments in the Fantastic Four where I got taken out of it and was a bit like,
sure.
But like the whole Galactus scene, the flight away, the fleeing from him into the neutron stuff, all that really cool, like coolest part of both movies, if I had to think of it.
Yeah.
But I do think
neutron
Superman
star. There was a black hole in both the movies, funnily enough, wasn't there? Here's a question for you then. Gun to your balls, like you're in that scene in Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards. Yeah.
Which do you go back and see right now, and which do you cut from existence?
Well, I don't want to cut the James Gunn one from existence because I want to see the broader universe that he makes. But
that's the gun to your balls, man.
Yeah, I'd probably go. I'd watch Fantastic Four again, to be honest.
That's really interesting. So interestingly, I'm very similar, but kind of the other way around. I think Fantastic Four was the better movie, as in like I think thematically I kind of preferred it and enjoyed the whole of it. But I want to go back and see Superman again. I really want to go back to cinema right now and go and see that film again. Like this, I would happily watch this when it comes out on Disney Plus or whatever. Like I'm not rushing to see this again, even though I really enjoyed it. Whereas Superman, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know. There was something about the character, the hopefulness. Yeah, I kind of want to watch it again.
Yeah, I probably would watch either of them again for a while. But
that's not a bad thing sometimes. Sometimes you need a little bit of...
No, I did enjoy them both.
Yeah. Okay, then, let's do it. Do you have any tones and or themes for this DL?
I
mean, family. Can we get Vin Diesel in here? We go family.
There was something about like self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
What else? There was something about like the idea that, principles only matter when they're like tested, like with the whole let's sacrifice the baby thing. True. Like that kind of. They're only principles if you do it when they're hard to do.
I
or
like
if you
that.
align to them when they're hard to do. I don't know. What do you think?
I didn't have any others. I think that's probably nailed it. Maybe something about the universe is bigger than us. I know that's a really stupid one, but like, I watched a thing the other day that was some dumb YouTube video. It was like 10 cosmic occurrences that could wipe out humanity in like a minute. And I was like, holy shit. And like, I think Galactus is one of those. So I wonder if there's something along those lines.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's not really rubbing your face the same way Superman is. Okay, then should we do a bit of 3 best and 3 worst for anyone who's new to the podcast? 3 best and 3 worst is 3 reasons you might want to see this film, 3 reasons why you might want to stay away from watching this film. Non-spoilers, so we'll give you a good balanced overview. Sometimes we don't make 3 for either. DL, do you have 3 best and 3 worst?
Yeah, I would say the best would be like the dynamic of the 4 characters.
Yeah,
is quite good. The whole tone is very unique to the MCU. It's very different. Like as I said,
I like that. Yeah.
Stripped down. It's kind of like it's almost more like Fallout. So I really enjoyed that. And then just the way they reset my expectations for the stakes. Somehow they were able to make me believe that these guys could fail. And a added bonus is that just that entire sequence and introduction to Galactus is like they should like think about why that worked so well, because it did.
Yeah.
Something about
Yeah,
it
it was
did.
great.
And the flight away was like the top MCU scene in a long time.
100%. That bit was awesome.
Up there with like, I think the Thanos introduction of like Infinity War. It's like the best thing I've had since that.
It was very similar, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I had not dissimilar. The earnestness of it, we talked about it a lot. I thought it just gave it gravitas in a way that perhaps other movies didn't have. And I guess that kind of linked to another one of mine, which is something you talked about, which was the emotional stakes. The two together, and the fact that the team felt defeatable, even though they are the Fantastic Four, was just phenomenal. I really liked that. It just had a real. It just felt a real vibe. Like you say, it's reset your expectations of the MCU. And finally, I just had Vanessa Kirby, who I think in an understated way, for me, was the lead of this film. I thought she had some phenomenal lines. The scene where she was giving birth in space was wild.
Yeah,
so interesting. And they were like, you need gravity to give birth. She's just like floating around the whole thing. Really, really good. Really well done. And one thing I'm going to put a fault in there. One thing we didn't mention was a lot of the call outs to random MCU characters. Like Mole Man's in this. Like there's this
more of him would have been. I would have liked more of him. That dynamic was great comedy. Everyone was at their best in that scene. Yeah,
definitely.
It was
100%.
It was really fun.
Yeah, stuff like that, and like I know I mentioned it before, but like some comic book panels were ripped directly into this film, and just gave it like it had this nice balance of it being an MCU movie, but also being a love letter to the comics. It had a lot to it, so it was good.
It didn't feel like an MCU movie. I'm going to be honest. Like, and I'm saying that as a compliment.
Maybe that's why it was good.
Yeah, I'm saying that as a compliment at this point.
Agreed. Do you have any worst for this before we move on?
Just there were moments where I was kind of like, it was a bit on the nose. I like the baby scene. I don't know how else you do it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
I mean, which baby scene? That's one of mine, by the way.
Where she takes the baby out and like basically justifies why they didn't give the baby up to save the planet.
Well, we'll talk a bit more about that in spoilers, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. The baby is definitely one of mine, but I think more the fact that it was a hideous CGI monstrosity for the first like 40 minutes. Even though they've come out and they've done interviews saying that there was a real baby on set. Like if there was, like, I don't know what the hell kind of baby it is, but it doesn't look like any baby I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
It did look real at times.
I think towards the latter half of the film it did, yeah.
There were it couldn't have been as bad as that fucking Squid Games baby. You saw
Oh my god, that was
crazy bad.
So bad. And
it was shockingly bad.
I can't even talk about that. That show just died for me. It's so terrible.
Yeah.
Outside of the baby, was there anything else? I don't know, man. I didn't have many worsts for this. I thought it was really fun.
No, I like some people might say it was like, hey, there was no like broader universe connection. And I was like, I loved that there wasn't.
Me too.
I loved that I think they needed to prove that they could do a self-contained story for this Fantastic Four, and they did.
Same. Yeah. I love that. I agree. Okay, let's talk then a little bit about the current IMDb score for this. DL, can you guess for me out of 10 what it is?
Probably 7.5.
Oh, it's 7.4. I thought you had it. You were going.
Bummer.
And I was like, Fantastic Four. You were close. Good. I like what you did there. Rotten Tomatoes then, out of percentage.
82.
Oh, it's 86.
Okay.
So I'd say that's pretty good for Rotten Tomatoes, personally.
It's great.
I actually checked it when it came out, and it's gone. I mean, like, we're talking like marginally here. It was 7.5 IMDb when it first came out, and it was 87 when it first came out, Rotten Tomatoes. So it's kind of held its juice. And finally, then, can you guess for me the Letterboxd score, which is always 3.6, but never 3.6?
It's probably 3.9. 3.8. 3.8.
It's 3.6. It's holding the rule. Letterboxd has been pretty average on this. Okay, then finally, what we do is we talk our rating system, dear listener. And as we know, the internet is binary. Things are either the best or the worst. There is nothing in between. So what we say is, is this better or worse than the most average movie we know, which as of right now is Aquaman 2018. DL, might be a bit moot, but is this better or worse than Aquaman 2018?
This is definitely better. Better.
Yes, it's better. I think so. I think it's got a lot of heart to it. I really like the sets as well. The fact that they used a lot of practical stuff too. I mean, any film with more practical just makes it feel more tangible, right? It's got a lot to it that maybe Aquaman didn't.
Yeah.
Shall we do some big time spoiler time, DL?
I think we should. And we should think about
spoilers.
I think let's do spoilers and let's do like, hey, there's only a couple movies, I think, before the next Avengers movie.
Yeah, if that many.
And so I'm really curious what they're gonna do.
Well, they haven't announced anything. I mean, just this morning, you may have missed it, but they have just released a very, very quick, actually, second teaser for the Spider-Man movie upcoming. I think it's in 2027, where Tom Holland is in his new Spider-Man outfit, and it is very Tobey Maguire, which is fun. But that's coming out, I believe. But I don't know if that's going to be like an in-between call, the same way like Captain Marvel was for Endgame and Infinity War. So I'm not sure about that at this point.
I thought it was coming out in 2026.
I mean, it might be. I saw it when I was half asleep, so I'm not 100% sure. So the through line of this story is then that Galactus wants Sue Reed's child, Franklin, to be his replacement because he is a cosmic being of huge power. And Galactus is actually sick of doing his job of eating planets. He's sick of it. He doesn't want to do it anymore. The trade-off here that DL alluded to before is that Galactus says, I will leave your planet alone if you give me that child, which is very...
the baby. Give me the baby.
It's very fat bastard, isn't it? I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Want my baby back, baby back. I was like, Galacticus, come on, you're better than this. But I really like that as a stake to this movie, you know? Like, I don't know how you felt.
Yeah, no, I did. I liked it a lot as a stake. I also liked that, like, throughout the entire movie, and I didn't know if we could talk about this because some of it was spoilers, but they're kind of just playing defense the entire movie. I think that's part of why they're
definitely
like their solutions to these things are like actually like to flee. Like one of their solutions is to basically teleport the entire Earth away.
Yeah.
So that he can't find them, which is just like it's an interest. Like it just shows that they're again. I think that's part of the reason why they can be viewed as being on like the back foot. It's because they're like they're not trying to win. They're just trying to like survive.
I thought that made him really humanized as well. You know, like he is the smartest man in the world, but he can't figure out this problem that's way bigger than him.
When it's going wrong, because the Silver Surfer comes in and just destroys all the teleportation beams, and they're just on like
mess that shit up.
They're on like customer support with like every nation. Like they're like an outsourced Indian phone line, and you're just like, like this is stripping these little choices. Are stripping this world down to like a place where it's like kind of believable they could be beat because the thing is having to like be on hold with like London, like, you know, like surely they should have like an AI for that or something, like, or a Jarvis, but no, it's so them. Good. Each of them are just like, what do we do, Reed? Let me put them on hold. Like I don't know.
We got to think of something new.
It got me. I was laughing about that.
That's so true. I didn't think about it that way. That's brilliant. Yeah. I think like one of the core points of this film is exactly that, and I loved that about this. They know Galactus is coming to eat their world, and their plan isn't
eat the world.
Yeah, isn't to fight back. It's to move the world.
Yeah, it is to move the world. It is. It's a good subversion. Sorry, I was cutting you off because I was just imagining Galactus just like eating sand. Nom nom.
Does he do that at one point? He does the gladiator thing. He picks up like
he does. That was kind of cool.
Like, rubs it in his hands.
I thought he was going to eat it though. I was like, that'd be really. I would laugh if you're just like, I like that. Oh man.
I've got to say, Joseph Quinn, who plays Johnny Storm. Like, I know we've been talking about Pedro Pascal being in a lot of stuff, but holy shit, he has been in everything recently. He's been in so many movies, and that bit when Galactus picks up the sand picked up the Earth made me think of Gladiator 2, which he was also in. Yeah, I was like, that's one of his worst performances. That was so bad. So let's talk about how they defeat Galacticus then. Like, what's the plan here? What do they do?
They basically try and teleport away first. Well, first they go and like meet him, and they're like, yo, Mr. Galacticus,
leave us alone, bitch.
How about we just are friends? And you eat another planet. There's so many planets that you could nom, and why you gotta nom ours?
Find one that doesn't have humans on it.
Yeah, but that's not what
Nom.
Galactus wants. He likes to eat the souls.
I think you find it's Galacticus.
Galacticus, then laser scans with a laser. He scans the little.
This is an Austin Powers movie, isn't it?
Yeah. He does like a little. What do you call it? A prenatal check-in.
Yeah.
What do you call it when they put the gel on the belly? They scan the baby, and he decides that this baby
he wants his baby
back.
back.
Yeah, this baby's like God reincarnated. He's like, it is the source. Like, I don't know what.
It's my boy.
Some kerfuffin McMuffin, and decides to ask for a blood price. He's like, I'll let you keep your world that you love so much, but you got to give me the baby.
I think that threw up a really interesting concept, though, of like the greater good and all those types of things. Maybe we can talk about
great moral questions. Great things to implicate or investigate.
Like everyone on Earth is clearly like sort of saying, give him the baby, you idiots, and they're just like, we don't trade. You know what I mean? We don't trade hostages. Like it's a really interesting ethical question as well. I mean, I personally thought they were going to do it at one point, and that's what I was talking about with Reed having to answer those hard questions. And I actually really liked how they used Franklin as bait. I was like, you're making some big swings here, guys.
Well, they like it was a good like follow on from that argument they had.
Yeah, agreed.
The two characters, like it was a good way to tie that loop.
I really liked when they fought Galactus, they were massively outmatched, hugely outmatched, and they only really beat Galactus. So they don't actually kill or defeat Galactus. They push him through a portal, which sends him to the other end of the universe, which is fascinating because they literally cannot defeat him. The only way they're able to do it is by Sue effectively killing herself, which is, beautiful sacrifice, works really well in the moment.
I thought she was actually going to die.
I thought she was gonna die. I was like, the only thing that made me think otherwise was the fact that I know from the comics Franklin is basically a universe killer. He can do whatever he wants. So I was a bit like,
I didn't know that.
And the minute Pedro put the baby on her, I was like, oh yeah, here we go.
Of course, yeah. Well, like I got there pretty quickly when they had the baby with them, and I saw the baby. I was like, oh, they're good. It's gonna be like the Jack from The Incredibles.
Yeah, agreed.
Where they don't know the power. But I would have been almost down for her to die, and then they'd find a new version of her in the multiverse later or something.
Interesting.
Because that's clearly going to like intersect.
Yeah.
But they've already kind of done that with what's her name. So
speaking of, there is an interesting theory going around about this, that the TVA. Now you remember you've watched Loki. You know what happens in Loki. You remember the TVA. Yeah. You remember its aesthetic. You remember its vibe. The TVA was actually created by this version of Reed Richards. So if you think about the 60s aesthetic, even the colors, the oranges, the muted color tones, that is very this Fantastic Four universe. So there is an interesting theory going around that Kang, who we shall no longer speak of because he's a bad dude, actually found it and took it over. So he didn't actually create it. Like, he's just an unreliable narrator through that whole story. He didn't create the TVA. He stole it. It became his after he conquered. I really like that as an idea, or at least he was in this universe at some point because the aesthetic is exactly the same.
I think that's a good theory. And it would be a good retcon.
Yeah, it would be a cool retcon. And it would be a way to get him out as well.
Yeah. Well, I think they've clearly decided they're not using him, right? I mean, like that's
he can't. He's cancelled, so they won't use him. It's Disney. Of course they won't. I think the thing that struck me in this was there were so many teases for Latveria and Doctor Doom, and obviously the post-credit scene is a very quick stinger of Doctor Doom, which is apparently filmed by the Russo brothers, and that was actually apparently Robert Downey Jr. in the costume. I really liked how they wove that in without necessarily it being overwhelming or it being too much or distracting from the main villain.
I agree, but I'm also kind of confused. Isn't Doctor Doom a pretty big part of the relationship of the family? So like, I didn't hear any reference to him the whole movie.
So I mean, there's years and years of there was definitely there were definitely hints to him. The Latveria tease, him not being at the talks for peace and all that stuff.
They said that? I didn't hear that. They said that he wasn't in the peace talks or something.
Exactly. So there was a moment when they were doing a big peace talks and everyone had agreed, but the Latveria sign was there and there was nobody there for Latveria, which is obviously his country.
Oh, I didn't know
There were
that.
lots of little minutiae things which were super interesting and well worked in. Because obviously in the comics, he is Reed's friend of some description at college, and then becomes enemies, and then he wants to have Sue as his wife. He basically wants Reed's life, which is interesting. But I don't think it was overwhelming. I don't think it was distracting. I think like for you, like if you didn't know or notice those things, it probably wouldn't distract like a broader audience. Do you got anything else to talk about the Fantastic Four before we move on to the trivia horse?
I am just trying to think like where. So you got the Spider-Man, we've got the Punisher.
Yeah.
You got this Daredevil season.
I don't think there's going to be any bearing on the broader MCU from this. Maybe Spider-Man, but definitely not the
Maybe
TV series.
Spider-Man, maybe the Punisher. I don't know. Maybe not. There's no other movies.
Yeah, I mean, Blade is still technically in production, but who knows if that'll ever happen. I think they've been really smart. They've kind of gone, this hasn't been great, so they're streamlining. And I think they might squeeze out maybe one, but they're working on Doomsday right now. It's in production, so the only problem I have with that is that they apparently don't have an ending for it yet. They have quotation mark third act issues. So
that's what you've heard from reports.
It's just that's what they're saying. So it's interesting that they're still pushing ahead with it. And I mean, they some things are done on the fly, like the I am Iron Man at the end of Endgame where he snaps. That was actually basically ad-libbed. It was a late ad for Iron Man. Like some things come off, but like sometimes they don't, and you don't want to fuck up one of your big Avengers movies, you know. So whether it's going to be a case of they have a really solid idea and they're just trying to work around how to get there, or if they're sort of doing it on the fly. I'd be terrified if they're doing it on the fly.
I don't think they're doing it on the fly. I think there's probably like some element of retcon because it was supposed to be Kang Dynasty.
Yes.
So like, it's a massive change.
They have to change all of it. Yeah. Not just the name, baby.
And all the preamble up to it with Ant-Man and stuff was all tied to that. So it's like, how do they pivot away from that and bring those arcs into this?
You'd want to see a bit of Doom, wouldn't you?
I feel like it might just be a sequel to the Fantastic Four with a couple added elements.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did the whole, because he's obviously the same actor who played Tony Stark. It's, they're all fighting and they believe him to be, like Tony Stark. So they just go along with it. And then he turns on them at the end of the film. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how they go. It's literally a bait and switch.
I could also see a scenario where we start to see that actually lots of the new parts of the MCU that we thought were going to be a part of the old MCU are in this version of the multiverse that is the Fantastic Four.
I think that would be cool too. Yeah.
Where it's like, actually that's all in this version and all those stuff that we've known is in the other one. And maybe we might lose that in an incursion. We might lose the old world.
I think that's probably what they're going to work towards. Probably in Secret Wars. Secret Wars in the comics, I've read the comics somewhat recently again, is effectively an incursion happens and a bunch of universes all get wiped out. And basically Doctor Doom creates a planet with what's left with a bunch of the characters who are left over. So it's basically it wiped out a bunch of other universes and new characters were sort of introduced into the main line. So for example, Miles Morales became part of the new line. Doctor Doom basically took on Reed's life in that as Emperor Doom. It's a really interesting, fun comic. I wouldn't be surprised if they used a lot of the elements of that for this. But there's a lot of things that I don't know how they would use. There's characters in there that obviously aren't in the movies yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of the characters holding it together is, I think it's Multiple Man. Is it Multiple Man? I can't. Anyway, there's one character who's holding the universe together basically by using his powers. I wouldn't be surprised if that's why Doctor Doom wants to steal their kid to hold the universe together after an incursion. I feel like that could be something that they could work in.
Oh, good MacGuffin. Yeah, he's always this kid's always used as MacGuffin. I've heard.
He probably will be. And that was the Fantastic Four. DL, should we do a little bit of trivia, true or false to wrap this shit up?
You know it.
Yes. All right. Cool.
You know it. I'm hungry for them wings. So
you just talked about it. So trivia, true or false, DL. 3 of the 4 actors from the 2005 Fantastic Four movie, including Johan Griffith, Jessica Alba, and Michael Chiklis, make uncredited cameos as background characters, including a blink and you'll miss it moment where Jessica Alba is saved by the Thing in the opening montage. Is that true or is that false?
True.
That's what I made up. I made it up. You fell into my trap. It was too specific. However, There was a movie from the 90s, which was never actually released, and you can actually get it on YouTube. It's terrible. All the characters who were in that, the Fantastic Four in that, made cameos in this. It was Alex Hyde White. It was Jay Underwood. It was Rebecca Staab, and it was Michael Bay Smith. That's a movie which is hilarious, and I really wanted to do with you one time. It's got this wild background to it, whereby the studio, I think it was Fox at the time, literally put this into production so that they could keep the rights to the film, and then just never fucking released it. They were like, nah, it's staying. Yeah, real bad. And the characters all thought that it was going to be amazing. Anyway, trivia true, trivia false, DL. The film takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Earth 828, as we know. However, the number is designed to come from Fantastic Four co-creator Jack Kirby's birthday. Is that true or is that false?
True.
It is true. His birthday is obviously August 28, as Americans would do 8/28. I really like that. That's a nice little love letter to Jack Kirby. Trivia true, trivia false, NTL. A specific desert rock, nicknamed Jennifer by the crew, was filmed on set as a lighting reference for the VFX team for The Thing. Is that true or is that false?
True.
These are so fucking weirdly specific. It is, of
I don't
course,
know.
true. This is so odd. I just really like that as an idea that they had just like a desert rock on set, just like randomly sitting there on a bench. Final one, the DL. Trivia true, trivia false. The first live action appearance of Herbie the Robot, who we didn't actually get to speak to that much, but it was definitely in this film, was definitely a bit of fun. Herbie the Robot was actually in Fantastic Four 2005, but his scenes were cut for time. Is that true or is that false?
False.
It's actually true. He was in the Fantastic Four 2005, but was cut for time. It feels very of that time, though. I feel like anything that's a little bit more fun or a little bit comic booky didn't quite make the movies back then. You know what I mean? They barely even had the costumes on.
Yeah.
Well, that was our discussion about Fantastic Four. And ultimately, I thought it was great. I'm really excited to see where this takes the universe. I liked everyone in it. It had a lot going for it, and it was just a lovely movie, DL. Do you want to wrap up the show, my man?
Of course, man. Thank you, listeners. Go give us a review, give us a shout, share with friends, yada, yada, yada.
Do it.
Yada, yada.
Give us a 5-star.
Yada.
Pass it to a friend. You know, give the gift of Podcast Assemble.
Yes, and a big thank you to Matthew Bliss for editing and mastering this week's episode. If you'd like him to be part of your podcasting team, get in touch on business@mpod.com or head to mpod.com to find out more about his services. If you would like to hear his work, he's got Coffee with the Podcaster, short thought pieces on topics of podcasting,
very
short
wholesome.
over a cup of coffee.
He also has a new podcast that all you dear listeners should go and check out. Subscribe and give a 5-star to. It is called RE.Thinking, as in rethinking podcasting, and it is gonna guess short think pieces about podcasting
on
and how to get set up and get
be
moving with a
better.
podcast. I listened to the introductory episode to it, and it's very nice. And Matt Bliss's voice is like ASMR. Is that the right verbiage for that? It just would put me to sleep. It's a beautiful voice.
Nice. Love to hear it. Love to see it. Until next time, team. Toodaloo.
Tally. Oh, baby.